Okay, we are back. This is another top 5 episode. So let's get straight into it. In fifth place, we have Yobitsugi. Yobitsugi? I think I'm saying that correctly. And this project was awesome. And what's funny is that initially I was very skeptical of this project in the sense that initially I was very skeptical of this project because I didn't like the trees. I thought the trees were a little bit unrealistic. And I have to say, looking at it again, and I know why it's on the shortlist and I'll get to it, but looking at it again, I still don't know if this is the best project. I just think it's a really cool, fun project. So if we go to the next image here, so this is why I love this project. Finland generates a huge amount of construction and demolition waste while having record low levels of reuse and the highest levels of new mineral extraction per capita in the world. The concrete buildings slated for demolition are given new life by reusing the load-bearing structures from parking and industrial halls and the facade elements from residential buildings. Utilizing algorithmic design and mapping the geometries of affordable building components, countless different shapes or boulders are possible to be created. If the demolition of residential buildings accelerates, the amount of concrete waste will increase. Circular economy will be an integral part of the architecture in the future, and this proposal would lead the way towards a more sustainable tomorrow. So, great images, text, which I have now read, great. Interesting sort of conceptual image here at the top. And then we're going to get into the good part. Boom. So, I was just completely charmed by this model photograph. I just thought it was fantastic. It has a real atmosphere to it. I think it's really cute. I think it's really clever. I think it's incredibly effective. And in a way, sometimes architectural competitions are won on images like these alone, regardless of what you actually think of the concept. However, as I look at this project now, I am more aware of the concept itself, and I also think the concept is great. Not sure how practical it is. We'll find out. But this image, unbelievable. This image, unbelievable. Last image, some references. But I think the point that I was making when I looked at this project previously is just how clever. There's something quite circular, about the way in which the clever use of one model to generate so much of your presentation is very much aligned conceptually and spiritually with the idea behind the project, which is adaptation, reuse, and reusing things that we already have, being efficient and being economic with materials and building components. So there is that sort of meta narrative to this submission, which I also love. So all in all, my really only biggest criticism of the project is just generally what has actually been proposed. Like I said, feels much less civic building, much more, I don't know, communal, residential housing development. But that's not a criticism. It's just this particular arrangement of components here. So this aerial view really does add in. Whereas, the public space here, the openings, the scale of the openings, I just think it's a really exciting project, really brave. I'm a big fan. So, yeah, shout out again to 363 Yobitsugi. You have made my shortlist. Well done. Next up, we have project 341, a warehouse. So, a warehouse. If I recall, the biggest criticism I had of this project, and there was an image I didn't like, but I'll get to that, was that it felt much less like the previous project that we just discussed. It felt much less public museum of architecture and a little bit more speculative office, sort of adaptive residential industrial project. I don't know. But what I do love about this is the confident little shape of it. Just a little confident, chunky box. And I love the industrial references in the way that the fenestration is articulated and the way that the structural grid aligns with the program, the allocation of the program in this instance, which I'll get to. And as a presentation overall, it's fantastic. I mean, this physical model photograph, this image alone is so much more effective than any aerial CGI that we've seen in pretty much any image, any entry, sorry. Again, another physical model. We've got this 3D model, an exploded 3D model, very clever. Really, really nice CGI image here. Again, I do note that there has been some criticisms of this project in regards to ornament, decoration, but I really like it, personally speaking. I like the way we have the metal and the timber lining, and I like the way we have the steel and the cold metal on the outside and the glass, and then we have the warm, chunky timber on the inside. Got a nice warm interior. So the presence of a large warehouse, which to have always been there, is intriguing. The museum's positioning is a continuation of the city's historical grid and perspectives. The simple shape of the 60 by 45 meter rectangle gives each orientation a clear characteristic with differentiated access. In addition to the main forecourt, the volume generates two triangular squares, often connecting with the city or opening onto the port. So this image in particular, I find a little bit disappointing. I think it's a bit flat. I would like to see some sort of reflections here in the glass, or a little bit less transparency overall. Might give the image a bit more depth. I think some of the most effective images from this point of view are the ones that actually reflect the historical city on its facade in a weird way. I'm a big fan of that. That's just my taste. Again, the opening's quite clear. Shape, volume, proportion, all quite clear, all very respectful of the skyline. And in this interior image, just won me over again. Another project with a good, really, really good model. And again, I made that criticism in the last. I made that criticism when I looked at this project previously. A little bit unclear, really, what this space is. Does give that cooperative work vibe, startup, tech bro kind of thing going on here. Much less museum of future architecture, but don't really care. Just love it, and the references are fantastic. So I just think, as a presentation, a warehouse is just unbelievable. I think it's really great, really tight, really effective, really efficient, really clean. Just wish there was some more shiny reflections on this one, and that is why a warehouse has made my shortlist. So a warehouse, well done. And we're going to move on to the next one. So in third place we have 351 Kuma. Now I spoke about this project quite a lot when I reviewed it previously. Can't remember which episode it was, but this is an awesome little project. It's unlike anything else that I've seen so far or had seen previous. My biggest concern, and I'll talk about it again, was this little triangular offcut here, which is the open gallery terrace space in regards to wind, climate, sea. Don't know if that's going to be such a nice space. That's just my opinion. But I do love the rigorous consistency of this sort of triangular opening and the way in which it's made, almost by not proposing anything. I spoke about that previously as well. In a way, the triangle is a result of the negative space that we get when these sort of forms and volumes complete one another by, meeting subtly. And we see that also not just in opening in terms of elevation and section, but we also see it in plan with the external roof space here, and we also see it in the skylight in the center of the volume, which I think is super interesting. Next image. Again, like you see this here, the way they just sort of flirt with one another, the way in which these stunning little vistas of Helsinki are framed from the inside. So you've got that sort of opening happening laterally and vertically from above. Super exciting. Choice of material, love it. The museum embraces sustainability as a social, democratic, and educational space, a state of mind. Technical and ecological sustainability is achieved through knowledge and education. A zero-impact building is realized through prefabrication systems, precise assembly processes, and short construction times. Sustainable intelligence is based on natural, recyclable materials like bricks and slate for the roof, green structures, and studying the use of natural ventilation. Internal thermal masses balance heat. The light envelope requires less piling. The use of centralized natural light and a compact envelope ensure good lighting conditions and U values. Now, I was critical of this project previously for having too few openings, but I'm actually a bit more forgiving of that now. I just think this is a sexy project. Just can't get away from how sexy this project is. And it's about to get a whole lot sexier when we look at these images here. Unbelievable images. Composition, atmosphere, color, just unbelievable. Really great project. And then this interior is fantastic as well. So I guess I'm actually treating this entry in reverse, in that I kind of gave this thing like 10 minutes in the previous episode, or one of the previous episodes. I'm going to talk a little bit less about it here today, but absolutely worthy of its place on my short list, and it comes in at third in this round. It would have ranked higher if I just had a sense of what some of the interior spaces were like, because this is sort of semi-interior, as is this in a weird way. Maybe that's unfair. But oh well, moving it along. So next up on the shortlist, we have Project 334 Innermost. This is a project that I loved last time I spoke about it, but now going through the shortlist, I actually really like it. My main criticism of this project still stands. I do wish there was a little bit more hierarchy here on this elevation in terms of with regards to entrance. I just wish it was marked a little bit clearer. I also find the massing strategy very elegant, very clever. But from what looks to be like an opening here, I wish we had a little bit more of that overall. But again, that's more to do with the aerial image itself. The quality of image in this submission in particular is just stunning, fantastic. And I also shout out, because I missed this the last time, it's quite clear that the choice of material for the facade is a reference to the copper roof structure of the copper finishes as part of the historical context in Helsinki. But I didn't even really notice how they kind of go hand in hand in this image, which is again fantastic. Massing, super clear. The way in which the program is divided in each of these volumes, super clear. Yeah, energy diagrams, fantastic. Just a great project. Again, I wish it was just a little bit clear. I wish we had a canopy, or just a double height opening maybe. Something that just sort of broke the rhythm and the volume a little bit to demark that entrance. That's all, but small gripe. Great project. And I love, like I said, I love the way these little inner chunky blocks have this really cool, robust timber skeleton on the outside that all feels like it's one continuous piece. The way in which the vertical elements align with the canopies and the roof structure. Very thin roof. Very cool. Interior fine. And then this drawing is fantastic. Just love it. Love it. Look how good this is. This would have been a worthy winner, in my opinion. So again, Innermost, I've spoken about Innermost quite a lot as well in previous episodes, but just wanted to give it a shout out again. So that is number 2 on the shortlist. And that means we're about to have a look at what is number 1 on my shortlist for top 5 projects in the fourth 100 projects of the total 623 projects in the Helsinki Museum of Architecture competition. And number 1 is Ilava Museo. Now, I've talked a lot in some of these projects so far about, oh, this makes the list because of the images, oh, this makes the list because of the architecture, oh, this makes the list because of I like the model. This makes the list, and it also makes first place because of a bit of all of that. And we'll get into it. But the thing that stands out straight away is the quality of the image, and it's probably the best aerial image that I've seen so far, which says a lot, I think. Well, actually, no, it doesn't say a lot at all, because the quality of aerial images in this competition have been generally quite poor. But what we have here is we have a big boy, and then we have a little boy. And we have something that resembles a barn, and something that resembles a little barn. And what I love about this sort of volumetric arrangement here is how the space in between creates this lovely little public space. And then we're looking at the detail and what it's made of. It looks like it's made out of wood. That's exciting. I'm saying pretty generic stuff here, but I'm building a story, okay? I'm really trying to sell this to you, audience. So really, it's just sort of like, okay, amazing, let me see more. It's one of the few projects that just really slapped me in the face with its quality in the first image. And then look at that. Vibes, atmosphere, detail, beauty. There's poetry in this image. And I don't use that term lightly, because it's super cringy and architects like to use it a lot. But there is. Look at this, it's fantastic. Such a vibe. Look at the look at the way the details here are expressed. Little joints, little notches. There's such a consideration for the way this will be built, for the way this will be experienced, for the way this will be traversed, for the way this will be explored, for the way this will operate. Compositionally, it's fantastic. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just an exciting space. Just love it. Next. And then look at these sketches. These sketches with this image, there's such a richness to the way that the way that the wood is treated as well. I mean, there's such variety in it. It's amazing. So let's read a little bit about it. Lialava Museo, the living museum, utilizes local timber, of course, to recognize Finnish vernacular architecture, embracing regional resources to create a meaning cultural contribution to the Helsinki harbour. The museum is designed as an extension of the market, blending industrial architecture with the port's landscape. It consists of 2 volumes. One is an archive of Scandinavian heritage, and the other is an engagement with its people. These are linked by a central atrium that serves as a dynamic public space. The museum emphasizes transparency by exposing the construction process, allowing visitors to witness the building's evolution and creating an immersive, ongoing narrative connected to its urban and maritime surroundings. 10 out of 10. Like, that is fantastic. How good is this? Do you guys agree? Probably not. I don't care. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Ecological, social, and economic sustainability are integral to the design, with wood as the primary construction material, reflecting Finland's traditions and providing environmental benefits. Locally sourced, sustainable wood enhances energy efficiency, reduces costs, and ensures easy maintenance. Sami building structures, fishing villages, covered goods shed, harbour structures. How adorable is this project? It's fantastic. So look, I'm not going to say any more. This wins first place for me on my little pretend made up shortlist. And I think it's fantastic. But I will say this as I wrap up this little short episode. Not the best 100 projects. I really struggled to find 5 that I loved. But this would have made the shortlist in any case. I can confidently say that. So what next? I need to get a move on. So I'm going to start churning out more episodes now. This is the shortlist for 301 to 400. So now I'm going to kick off the 400 round in the next episode. That's going to be exciting. I am going to start churning these episodes out. I promise we're going to get there. I'd love to get the 623 before the summer starts proper. So on that note, we're going to run through the shortlist one last time. Okay, so to summarize, we have in 5th place, we have Yobitsugi. In 4th place, we have a warehouse. In 3rd place, we have Kuma. In 2nd place, we have Innermost. And in 1st place, we have Ilava Museo. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Fantastic work. Well done to everybody who made this shortlist. And generally well done to everyone who submitted an entry anyway, because, you get your shout out on this channel, so check it out. So if you like this, if you didn't like this, if you had your own shortlist, let me know in the comments. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, comment, and let's keep talking, people. All the best. Goodbye.